A notice of allegation of gross misconduct brought pursuant to Section 188 of the 1999 Constitution as amended against the governor and the deputy governor of Rivers State by 26 members of the Rivers State House of Assembly, sir. Sir, conscious that the governor and deputy governor have continued to act as tyrants, have no good plans for transparency or good governance of Rivers State, and have repeatedly breached, backtracked on peace agreement facilitated, sir, by the president of this country, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, informed Mr. Speaker that the governor and the deputy governor failed to heed to the terms of agreement reached during the peace parley brokered by the same Mr. President, sir, in December 2023, and another one reached in 2025, most recently, sir, during the emergency rules in Rivers State. Mr. Speaker, convinced that the governor is incorrigible, Mr. Speaker, the emphasis are mine, cannot be trusted to abide by the Constitution, our ground law, sir, or heed to peaceful agreement again, sir, and does not show respect to the office and the person of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, sir. Further convinced, sir, that waiting for the conclusion of the investigation of allegation of gross misconduct against the governor and deputy governor before proceeding with the consideration and financial approval by the House is the best thing to do, is the best way to go, sir. We do therefore respectfully pray this House to do resolve as follows. One, sir, condemn in strong terms the refusal of the governor of Rivers State, sir, Siminalayi Fubara, GSSRS, with support from the deputy governor, Professor Ngozi Odu, to present medium-term expenditure framework and 2026 appropriation be in line with Rivers State Fiscal Responsibility Law 2010 and the Constitution respectively, as well as their regular spending from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of Rivers State, sir. Two, that the House declared that the House will not, Mr. Speaker, the House should not and the House will not proceed with any action for presentation of medium-term expenditure framework (MTEF) and appropriation bill 2026 until the investigation of gross misconduct leveled against the governor and the deputy governor are concluded, sir.
That is good and is in the best interests of Rivers State. 26 members of Rivers House of Assembly have brought allegations against the governor and the deputy governor. It is important that the process be allowed to go through in line with the provisions of the Constitution. And the particulars of gross misconduct have a lot to do with presentation of budget, refusal to present budget, spending outside the appropriation law. Distinguished colleagues, one thing very interesting is what members also indicated in that notice, but we're not here discussing the notice, but we're only making reference to it, which is that there is a notice and the process of impeachment is on as we speak. Having received the notice, my job is to forward it, and it's important that we allow this process go through. What this motion is saying is, in the event that the governor tries, as he has always tried to do, to be smart by half, to now say he wants to bring the appropriation bill or to present the medium-term expenditure framework, the movers of this motion are saying, let him hold on now. Let the process for the investigation of the allegations brought against him and the deputy governor be concluded. Distinguished colleagues, is that not what you are saying? Yes. So it makes sense too that we allow that process to go through before we start talking about any MTEF or even the 2026 appropriation bill. In any case, the governor does not even want to present any budget, because if he wanted to, he would have brought it all this while. Siminalayi Fubara is a mistake. He is a mistake. Rivers State has never had it this bad. In the entire Nigeria, Siminalayi Fubara and Professor Ngozi Odu, these are the only two people in the office at the sub-national level that are yet to present 2026 appropriation bill. The entire country. I'm sure if you go to the entire West African sub-region or even Africa, you will not find any subnational government that has not presented an appropriation bill for 2026. Who would believe that in this 21st century, that a state like Rivers State will not have an appropriation bill either presented or passed? Nothing is holding the governor for presenting it. He chose not to. And the governor has been boasting that he will always go and meet the president for the president to call us and give us instruction. He has been boasting, he has been saying it to his followers that this assembly were nothing but toothless bulldog. That this 10th Rivers House Assembly, we cannot do anything, we cannot enforce the constitution. This is a sad commentary for our democracy. Sir Siminalayi Fubara and Professor Odu, they are nothing but a threat to our nascent democracy. If they are allowed to remain in office, I don't know what will become of our democracy. And they are moving about from place to place, spending taxpayers' money without approval. Part of what led to other efforts to impeach them, first impeachment effort, second impeachment effort, has to do with refusal to present budgets. Mr. President has called several meetings which we attended. Our leader, His Excellency Wike, has called several meetings. I have attended meetings with the governor, and we have called on him, present the budget, something that is in line with the constitution. He says he will not. He's above the constitution. Nothing will happen to him. If he does not present it, he will meet the president, he will meet the National Assembly, they will tell us to leave him alone. And he has been boasting about this. Now I ask members, is it the right way to go to allow a governor not to obey the constitution, to continue to spend without approval? Even when we had an approval in 2023 for the governor to spend, the governor left the constitution, left the appropriation law of 2023 and started awarding contracts outside the budget. Particulars of his award letters, they are there attached. The governor spends, people coming from outside Rivers State, he will change our naira to dollars and give to them and tell them to go and wait for assembly members and make sure they don't succeed to do anything to him. So in other words, what the governor is doing with our funds of Rivers people, the poor Rivers men and women who are paying taxes, is to change our money to dollars and be given to visitors to Rivers State to stop us to subvert the constitution. For how long are we going to allow this to happen? Our schools are not furnished. Our schools are not functioning the way they should function. Rivers people are suffering. Our youth are not being employed. Our roads are bad. Our hospitals, health centers are not fully functional. A lot of them are having issues. Rather than follow due process, what the governor has decided to do is to save money, change it to dollars, to subvert the will of the Rivers people, to subvert the constitution. And he's boasting. Imagine the governor saying, the governor addressed the press rather and said, the only time that they should give him between now and the next 6 months before he will give account of, or statement of account of Rivers people. Other governors are saying how they are receiving money, how much they received, how much they have spent since he became governor. Since May 2020, since May 29th, 2023, Siminalayi Fubara and Ngozi Odu were sworn in. They have never for once issued any statement of account of Rivers State. Not once. And the governor is boasting that they are going to call us and give us order not to follow the constitution. And people are going in the media, people that we respect, elders that we respect are supposed to call him to order. They are going to tell him that what he's doing is good, rather than caution the governor for his infractions on the constitution. They are clapping for him. Rather than calling on the governor, they are calling on our FCT minister, who is helping Mr. President in Abuja. and making it look like it's a problem between the FCT minister and the governor. It is not FCT minister and the governor. It is the governor and the constitution. The governor is a threat to our democracy. It is better we all resign and leave the governor and those he wants to use to defraud Rivers people. We cannot continue to allow this to happen. We sit here, elected people, and we cannot follow, we cannot enforce the constitution. Then why are we here? Why are we sitting here? Why were we elected? For how long are we going to allow this to happen? Distinguished colleagues, enough is enough. If they want us to forget the legislature, we leave the legislature. Let only the governor and the deputy governor spend as they like and eat our money and do as they like. Why were we elected? Why do we have the legislature? Why can't we be allowed to do our job? Distinguished colleagues, I thank you for your contributions. We will follow this impeachment process through. The Supreme Court has confirmed that the governor has committed offenses against the Constitution. Let the course, let the law take its course. The law has to take its course. Mr. President, we thank Mr. President. He's a father. Mr. President has done his best. Mr. President has spoken to the governor. In my presence, Mr. President told the governor, I'm giving you a second chance. The governor refused. He gave him another one. The governor refused. How many times will the Mr. President call us? Distinguished colleagues, I thank you for your contributions. Prayers have been...
The news coming out of Rivers State right now is serious, sensitive, and developing very fast. Members of the Rivers State House of Assembly have officially taken steps to begin impeachment proceedings against Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy governor, Professor Ngozi Odio. This move has sent shockwaves across the state and beyond, because Rivers State is one of the most politically important states in Nigeria, and whatever happens there usually has national implications. At the sitting where this decision was taken, lawmakers aligned with the leadership of the Assembly formally read out notices accusing the governor and his deputy of what they described as gross misconduct. These notices were signed by a large number of lawmakers, showing that this is not just a personal complaint by one or two individuals, but a coordinated action by the Assembly leadership and its majority members. According to the lawmakers, the allegations touch on how the state has been governed, how public funds have been handled, and how the executive arm has related with the legislative arm over time. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel right now, because this story is still unfolding and you will want to keep getting updates explained clearly and calmly. The lawmakers claim that Governor Fubara acted outside the authority of the House in several key areas. One of the major points they raised is the issue of the Rivers State House of Assembly complex, which was pulled down during the peak of the political crisis in the state. The Assembly says this action affected their ability to function properly and was done without proper legislative backing. They also accused the governor of approving and spending state funds in ways they believe were not fully backed by the approved budget or legislative consent. Another major accusation is that funds meant for the legislative arm and its agencies were allegedly withheld, creating tension and making it difficult for the Assembly to operate independently. The lawmakers argue that this goes against the principle of separation of powers, which is clearly stated in the Nigerian Constitution. They also say that court decisions, including those touching on financial and administrative matters, were not fully respected by the executive arm under Governor Fubara. The deputy governor is also facing her own set of allegations. According to the notice read on the floor of the House, she is accused of being involved in actions that the lawmakers believe weakened legislative authority and encouraged irregular administrative practices. These include claims of approving expenditures without due process and allowing certain actions within government that the Assembly says were not properly authorized. At this point, it is important to be very clear and calm. Impeachment in Nigeria is not an automatic removal. It is a process. What the Assembly has done is to activate that process. Under the Constitution, the governor and deputy governor are entitled to receive the allegations formally and are given time to respond. A panel can be set up to investigate the claims, and both sides will have the opportunity to present their case. Only after all these steps can a final decision be made. Please take a moment again to like this video and subscribe, because understanding this process helps everyone follow the story without confusion or unnecessary fear. To fully understand why this is happening now, we need to look at the background. Rivers State has been dealing with political tension for a long time. The disagreement between Governor Fubara and powerful political forces within the state did not start today. It has been building up over months, even years. There have been disputes over control of the party structure, loyalty within government, and the direction of leadership in the state. When Governor Fubara assumed office, expectations were high. Many people believed he would bring stability and focus on governance. However, political alliances soon began to break down. Lawmakers became divided, and the relationship between the executive and legislative arms turned openly hostile at several points. Court cases, public statements, and counter-statements followed, creating a tense environment in the state. At one point, the crisis became so intense that governance was affected, and the situation attracted national attention. Security concerns, protests, and legal battles became part of daily news. Although there were attempts at reconciliation, the trust between both sides never fully returned. This current impeachment move is seen by many observers as the peak of that long-running conflict. Supporters of the impeachment argue that the Assembly is simply performing its constitutional duty by holding the executive accountable. They say no governor is above the law and that the legislature has the right to question actions it believes are harmful to democracy and good governance. On the other hand, supporters of Governor Fubara see the move as politically motivated and designed to remove him from office rather than resolve issues through dialogue. This division of opinion is already being felt among the people of Rivers State. Some residents are worried about instability and how it could affect development, salaries, public services, and investment. Others believe that allowing institutions to function, even when it is uncomfortable, is necessary for long-term democratic growth. Please remember to like this video and subscribe right now, because this kind of clear explanation helps everyone stay informed without panic or misinformation. As things stand, Governor Fubara has not been removed from office. He remains the governor until all constitutional steps are followed and a final decision is reached. His legal team and political allies are expected to respond formally to the allegations. There is also a strong possibility that courts may be involved, as has happened several times in the past during this crisis. What happens next will depend on several factors: how the governor responds, whether the assembly proceeds strictly according to constitutional rules, and whether any court orders are issued that could pause or guide the process. Political negotiations behind the scenes may also play a role, as is often the case in Nigerian politics. For ordinary citizens, the most important thing right now is to stay calm, stay informed, and avoid spreading unverified information. Political tension does not automatically mean breakdown of law and order, and institutions are expected to act responsibly. Security agencies are also on alert to ensure that peace is maintained across the state. This situation also sends a strong message across the country. It reminds political leaders that power comes with responsibility, and that conflicts between arms of government can have serious consequences if not managed carefully. It also shows how important strong institutions are in resolving disputes without violence. As the days go by, more details will emerge. Statements will be issued, legal actions may be filed, and negotiations may take place. Every step will matter. This is why following verified updates and listening to calm, clear analysis is very important. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you do not miss any update on this developing story. In conclusion, Rivers State is once again at a critical political moment. The House of Assembly has moved to impeach the governor and his deputy, citing serious allegations. The governor is expected to respond, and constitutional processes will guide the next steps. The outcome is still uncertain, but one thing is clear: this story is far from over, and its impact will be felt both within and outside Rivers State. Thank you for staying with this detailed update. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and keep following us for clear, professional, and real-time news and gist as events continue to unfold.